was asked a month or so ago about how to beat Diao, and I'll go through some things that I thought about, except not about Diao, about czsmall, because he is the best player by a long margin from my perspective. I'm going to be doing this in a very Dark Souls-esque way, where I'll measure it using stat points out of 10. 1 is garbage, and 10 is the best player I know when talking about the stat I'm talking about. Finesse and KPP. I'll start with the obvious. His finesse and KPP are terrible when you only think about the triple rotate. When you don't factor that in, he's actually really incredible, especially with the desk preservation and not using any double taps. 9 out of 10. Opener. CZ doesn't really have an opener outside of PC spam. He gets a 6 out of 10 because he's still very good at it. At the top, I'd put Caboozled Pie. Speed. CZ's fast, but not the fastest. I'm thinking about Diao, Blug, and FS at his peak. Maybe Vince as well. Not too sure though. 9.5 out of 10. Efficiency. This one's a weird one. On Tetris, I do think CZ is the most efficient player because of his superior understanding of accepting and cancelling in a faster game compared to PPT players. However, I have seen way more efficient attacking players on PPT, and this does matter because PPT has a much higher ceiling for efficiency. So I'll put him at a 9 out of 10, and in between 9 and 10, I'd put some top PPT players with Freya, a little bit lower than Kazu at the peak because Kazu's more Tetris optimized, and Freya goes for more combos, which is what pushes her to the top in PPT but pulls her down in Tetris. All in all, there's much to improve on here by analyzing PPT players. Stacking. His stacking is sexy. The way he shapes his board is nearly perfect and probably the best in the world. His back-to-back stacking is deadly consistent, but he does waste T more than some other players would, and he hasn't completely incorporated T-spin pattern stacking to his arsenal. He loses out on offensive stacking to some players I could probably only count on my fingers. Consistency. 10 out of 10 as far as I've seen. Attack. CZ again is good at it, but I've seen better out of Blug, Kazu, Promo, and even Diao. Promo and Diao mainly because they sacrifice efficiency for speed, which makes them somewhat inconsistent, but I think that Blug beats out CZ consistently when it comes to pressure. I'll give him a 9.9 out of 10. And finally, defense. 10 out of 10. Best defensive ability in the game, no brainer. My last video talks about the tools he utilizes and the decisions he could have done instead in a game that he played versus Diao. Not too much to improve on here, but perfect the tech I talked about last video, but there is still a little bit of room to go above and beyond here. Alright, on to the Q&A. Are you going to stop the Tetris content when you finish the guide? Probably not. How to max out? Wrong game. Why did you put the J piece in S tier but the L piece in A tier for your Tetris sub? The asked. Can you say something in Spanish? Algo en español. Also, do you know another language? I know a little bit of broken Mandarin and a bit more of even more broken Japanese, and also some swear words in probably like 5 more languages. How to not mind block. I find myself thinking too long before placing down pieces sometimes. It happens. When you quote-unquote mind block, it's caused by bad stacking decisions, which makes you mind block because you don't know what to do and every piece placement is bad, so you get better at it by stacking better. How does your hair look so nice? It doesn't. I haven't cut it in like 6 months. It looks trash. What opener is the Bong Cloud of Tetris? I thought about this one. I think it's the 1/8 sprint opener. What is the best way to practice in increasing your APM? Speed, efficiency, or garbage trading? Work on one of them and then go next. I have videos on all of them. What's a Diao stack? It's a really big combo down stack. How to look or think more pieces? You use look ahead. I have a video on it. What would you say is the most important tip? Play for improvement, don't play for rank. How much should people focus on increasing efficiency versus speed when trying to improve their ranking? However you want. I'd assume doing only one thing would get boring at some point. It's about Tetris Effect connected, but how do you know when to use the zone mechanic aside from when it's full? I think you use it whenever you think you're going to be able to send a lot of lines, or you use it when you're in danger and you need to get out. What obscure openers are worth learning for corner case opening bags? There's like a million C-spin openers that are good for any corner case bag, but I get by with PCO. What made you so invested in Tetris? I have no idea. Who's your favorite Tetris player? 3rd place czsmall, 2nd place Kazu, 1st place Freya. Is there any best way to train decision making? I always find myself getting too greedy and making the stack uneven/cheesy because I'm trying to do a T-spin or Tetris. A good rule of thumb is to try only setting up a T-spin if you can see the setup with only the pieces in your queue. Otherwise, just upstack. How do you practice upstacking? You kind of just upstack. Whenever you're safe, you go for it. You'll figure out everything you need from there. Is it better to play faster with lower efficiency or slower but more carefully? It depends on what you're trying to improve, your efficiency or your speed. How to be infinite downstacks? Well, what you should be doing is upstacking whenever, and I really mean whenever you're safe, to spike them out, but my strategy against them is a close adherence to their saying, if you can't beat them, join them. Fight fire with fire, out infinite downstack there, infinite downstack. Unlucky. How to get faster? Should I change keybinds? You can work on speed by improving your look ahead. Check out the video on this. Or what I did was force myself to play faster. I was at 2.5 PPS once and I just said, Kez, play at 2.7 PPS no matter what. I obviously sacrificed on efficiency, but I got used to it. And now I can play at around 3 to 4 PPS. Keybinds don't matter too much. You can get to my level with my own garbage keybinds. What is macro? Well, it's a word that everyone should stop using, but here's the thing from Numoy, pause and read. What makes a decision creative? Probably a decision that varies from the contextual norm that also works. It could be a setup, a downstack, a mid-game forward, upstacking, or whatever it may be. And is there such thing as the most optimal playstyle? Yes, spots are getting closer to it in terms of efficiency and stacking, but I think they lack the timing, the screen watching, the danger sense, and even the board shaping that CZ has. I don't see bots doing that as well. That being said, this quote optimal playstyle can only be felt by a robot. Humans can make most playstyles work. And finally, Eric L says, how to get in a position to run it down more frequently? Well, if you host another LAN, I'll tell you. And And that's that. This is the last video of the guide, and as you probably saw in the thumbnail or the title, which kind of gives it away as well, it's been an exhausting 2 months uploading daily. I'll be honest, I never wanted to do this ever again, but I'm happy I started and finished this guide. Some of the videos I did I'm not too happy with, such as the finesse and cheese one, but I'm done with making guides, at least for now. I do have an excuse though for the lesser quality guides, in that I got COVID during the time I was making those videos, and it was actually like the worst sickness I've ever got in my life, in my opinion. Not because it hurt at all, it didn't. It was one of the tamest sicknesses I've felt, but the 1 to 2 month coughing period that followed, like, why? That's crazy. And you can, yeah, funny story, you can actually, in some of the videos you can hear my voice slowly going up because it was like coming to a cough which was coming, and I'd cut it so you couldn't hear the cough that came with it. I'd get through half a sentence and cough and I'd have to retake. Each cut was like a sentence long. It was a nightmare to record. There were plenty of days where I'd want to just chill, do nothing, because I was balancing college, work, 2 to 5 hours honestly each day for the guide, and I'd really have to summon the Jordan Peterson in my mind to get up, clean your room, get to work, you lazy pig, and get out a video no matter how trash I felt. And this has been the longest routine I've gotten through as well. Like, doing something every day consistently for even a week is something that I can't do. Not can't do, that's a bad mindset to say I can't do it, but struggled to do at the very least. I started this guide because I had a conversation with some people that disagreed with me when I said play more is not a fast way to learn Tetris. Out of probably spite, I began scripting this ginormous document a couple months ago, and hopefully I've succeeded and proved some people wrong. If you've improved from watching some of these videos, leave a comment and I'd happily fuel my ego reading them. And if I've missed out anything in the 50 or so videos I've made, I don't really care. I'm done with guides. In all seriousness, thanks to Garbocan_, czsmall0402, Kazu, Fureya, Icely, Caboozled, Veronica, and Mloka for references and inspiration. Gravity Shark, who's commented on every bloody video, the crazy bugger, and everyone else that's been supporting and helping out in the comments. Thank you, and bye bye.